Hello and welcome to today's community coaching conversation. Today we are going to be talking about OMAD, or 1 meal a day. This topic of conversation came from our community. I asked a question, what do you guys want me to coach on? And the topic came from Sonia. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. If we do 1 meal a day, how is it possible to get all my nutrition in one meal? And is that bad for us to digest all of that food at one time? So we're going to talk about that today. For those of you who might be new here to our community, welcome. Please take a second to hit that subscribe button. Make sure that you hit that little bell icon also so that you will know when we either go live or I upload new content for you. And I always like to take a second to introduce myself. My name is Ann Parham. I am a fasting mindset coach. That means I help you with the intermittent fasting lifestyle that you want to incorporate for yourself. And we focus a lot on our mindset about the choices that we are making. So that's what we do here in this community. I also offer a course on intermittent fasting for us aging women, as well as a midlife mindset shift course and community. The intermittent fasting course runs every month. So if you're interested in jumping into one of those courses with us, I talk about the science and the body chemistry and hormonal changes that happen when we start incorporating intermittent fasting, as well as the mindset approach that we need to incorporate so that we can create a lifestyle for ourselves that will last. So all that information is included in the description box below. But today, let's talk about 1 meal a day. So 1 meal a day is that concept that we utilize with fasting for a lot of different reasons. So what I want to do is start out by defining what 1 meal a day is and then who it might be good for. So 1 meal a day is in fact 1 meal a day. Where I think a lot of people get tripped up in the frustration with 1 meal a day and maybe not getting the results that they were hoping for is that I've heard a lot of people come to me and say, well, I'm having a snack at 2 and then I have dinner at 6. So I'm practicing 1 meal a day. Why am I not getting results? When 1 meal a day is really just 1 meal. And we need to think about a meal in the sense of what our body chemistry does when we take in something that's going to create a chemical or hormonal change in our body. The chemical change happens when our body starts to produce all of the activity internally to digest things coming in. And the hormonal aspect is what happens with our hunger hormones, primarily insulin, when we take in something based on the chemical changes that are happening. So a meal is not necessarily a placemat with a knife and a fork and a plate and all the food, properly placed for us. A meal we need to think about when we're practicing 1 meal a day is, are we doing something that's causing our body to go into the motion of preparing to digest something and having an insulin response? So literally 1 occurrence, right, a day that could cause an insulin response. That's what 1 meal a day is. So in the comment section, do me a favor, comment and let me know if you are practicing 1 meal a day, or if you're curious if 1 meal a day might be something that would work for you. So let me know in the comment section below, and then we can dive a little deeper into that at the end. So it's a 23-hour fast technically, and I always like to say a 1-hour protocol. Could also be a 23.5-hour fast and a half-hour feast, right? So it all just depends on what you're doing for that one incidence where you're going to actually take something in, food or drink. So the protocol is not as important to us as what is happening when we make the decision. So 1 meal a day is great for busy people. There are a lot of CEOs and people who are running a really busy lifestyles. There's a lot of doctors who practice 1 meal a day, a lot of nurses who are practicing 1 meal a day because they just don't have time in their day to stop and have a meal. And so they've just trained their body to go throughout the day in a fasted state, and then they break for their meal when they have designated that time. So great for busy people, works great if you want to have a break from food decisions also. So if you kind of have that like fatigue in your brain about what it is you're supposed to be eating, if you can train your body to do one meal a day, that does kind of give us a break from that as well. For me personally, today happens to be my one meal a day type of protocol, because today is also my rest day from my fitness routine. So I don't have a big day planned for a lot of asks from my body physically. So I build in like a one meal a day type of approach on my rest day because I just don't have a lot to do. It's a great opportunity for me to reset my hunger hormones and really have an opportunity to drain the tanks through a longer fasting period. So the important thing about one meal a day is for you to define what one meal a day means for you, and then acknowledging that you are in fact practicing just one occurrence of breaking that fasting cycle, right? Okay, so here are some of the concerns with practicing one meal a day. And these are the questions I get on repeat here in this community. The concern is, well, you won't get enough food, right? If you're only eating once a day, are you getting enough food to support your life or your lifestyle? That you won't get enough nutrients. So whatever it is you're deciding to do in that one meal, are there going to be enough nutrients to keep your body healthy? Will you starve your body because you're denying food for a majority of your day? And could this lead to food-related mental and emotional complications? So can being on a one meal a day cause you to have, those unsettling feelings about food? Or if you are someone who has suffered from some eating kind of concerns in your past, could this lead to having those surface again? And I always say with things with like, I hate to say the word disorder because I don't think it is truly an eating disorder, but you just have a mindset that causes you to have some uneasiness about food decisions. If that is you, then eating one meal a day isn't necessarily going to be that thing, in my opinion, not a therapist in any way, that's going to cause you to have recurring problems or develop problems with food. All of that starts with how you think about food in the first place, right? So one meal a day, these are some of the concerns. And then I want to talk about what does one meal a day mean to you and what are your goals, right? Okay, so let's go back for a second to, are you going to get enough food? So all of that is going to be dependent on what you decide to consume in your one meal during the day, right? So for me, the other day, I made my breakfast shake, and just out of curiosity, I calculated what was in that shake. So the base of my shake is already nutrient dense, so I don't worry about getting enough nutrients there. But I calculated out what the calories were in the macros, and it was 1,100 calories. Like, I loaded the thing up, right? If I would have just eaten that one thing that day, I would be fine. I'm getting enough nutrients, I'm getting enough calories, and I made sure that the macros, the carbs, the proteins, and the fats in there are pretty substantial. So it all depends on what your food choices are to determine whether you're going to get enough food in your one meal a day. If you're fasting, or you have maybe concerns with your body's inability to lose weight, or your body's inability to utilize fat as an energy source, meaning you're accumulating body fat, then we already have a problem with eating too much food or eating food too frequently, which is causing our hunger hormones, primarily insulin and leptin, to be out of balance already. So for a lot of people, practicing one meal a day, even in the short term, can be that thing that's going to flip the switch for you and get those hunger hormones back in balance and help your body just utilize what you already have available. Extra body weight, which is usually the cause of inflammation and accumulation of body fat, And fasting is the thing that will help you balance those two things out the fastest. And if you're the person that's busy or are like really like stressed out about what to eat in the day, one meal a day can really help you with that because you just have one food choice. Okay, not getting enough nutrients. Whoever knows if we're getting enough nutrients or we're getting the right makeup of nutrients? That's the big question we all always have. Whether you're eating for, 20 hours a day, or you're eating for 4 hours a day, or you're eating for 1 hour during the day, how do you know if you're getting enough nutrients? What I always default to is listening to the signs and signals that my body is sending me. Your body will tell you really, really clearly if you're getting the right nutrients, right? And they usually come in the sign of inflammation, maybe inability to get a good night's sleep. You don't have the energy that you need to get through the day. You don't have the energy you need to get through your workouts. Like your body's going to tell you if you're not getting the right nutrients. So all we have to do is become really, really intimate with our own body's signs and signals and start to recognize what those mean. And then you just play with what you're going to do in your decision-making process with that one meal a day until you find the right mix for you. The other thing that we need to always consider is that our body is not at a set point ever, right? Our body chemistry and hormones are always in motion. They're always changing and they're always adjusting. So we need to make sure that we're tuned into that as well so that we can make changes that go with our body. So making sure that you are eating nutrient-dense foods is going to help us with this concern right here. What are nutrient-dense foods? I always say getting foods that are one ingredient and as close to the ground as possible, right? Meaning there isn't a lot of processing that goes into the fact of where you buy it from and when you're going to consume it, right? So as nutrient dense as possible, one ingredient foods, lots of fresh vegetables. If you're consuming animal protein, really good quality animal protein, grass-fed, gush-finished, those kind of things, and just a nice variety of color and texture in your meal that you have throughout the day. When you're doing one meal a day, that one choice, you're going to be fine. If you feel like you're not getting enough nutrients from your food, supplementation can always be one of those things that you can add in as well. And will you starve your body? So if you've been hanging out with me here for any length of time, we know that when we're fasting long and clean, that our body has the opportunity to feed off of all the storage that we have packed on through the years, right? So there's no way that you can starve your body if you are in a fasted state that provides the opportunity for your body to feast on stored fat and dead and damaged protein cells. This is another one of those opportunities when you're fasting long and clean for your body to also tap into some of those nutrients that you're packing away as well, right? So the key with one meal a day is not really so much this aspect of it, but what are you doing during the fasting stage of your one meal a day? And are you allowing your body to fast long and clean so that your body will then revert to tapping into what you have in storage to feast on to support you until you actually break your fast with that meal. So you will not starve your body as long as you are fasting correctly. And then you want to make sure that you're getting your minerals in as well. So you guys know I recommend mineralized water as much as possible throughout your day to make sure you're getting your magnesium, potassium, sodium, and calcium in you. That will also help to make sure that your body has all the electrolytes that it needs during your fasted state. And then the food, we talked about this just a little bit too. How you think about nutrition, how you think about fasting, the more you understand the benefits of being in a fasted state and what that can do for you, especially as an aging woman in today's society where food is so plentiful and diet hacks are so plentiful and quick fix elixirs and powders and shakes and pills and all of those things to help you get to where you want to go the fastest way possible. If you're aware of all of those things and you just go back to the basics of fasting long, feasting well and training smart and listening to the signs and signals that your body is sending you and understanding the chemical and hormonal processes that are taking place when you're in those environments, then we start to develop a healthy approach to taking care of ourselves. And what we have found here in this community is that so many women who graduate from our intermittent fasting for today's AG Women course come back and say they feel so much healthier about their decision-making process with food, and they feel so much healthier about their body image because they are in fact in control of the decision-making process and they understand what is going on. So let's go back to this page here. 1 meal a day. What does that mean to you? Are you entering this lifestyle in an informed and controlled thought process, right? Like you understand the benefits of what having 1 meal a day could mean for you, and you're not doing it out of desperation to lose weight, or you're not doing it frantically because Bob down the street said to do it or some guy on the internet told you to do it. Like, have you thought it through, and have you really settled into the benefits that you as an individual person could reap from that? The other thing that I like to also mention when we talk about fasting protocols and the way that we're approaching our fasting lifestyle is just because you decide to do 1 meal a day for a series of days or a designated period of time doesn't mean that you're limited to only having 1 meal a day for the rest of your life. You can jump in and out of a 1 meal a day type of lifestyle whenever you feel like your body needs a reset, or you just are busy and you want to train your body to be able to go throughout the day without having that dependency to the next food fix. Today is a perfect example of how I mix in 1 meal a day to my lifestyle. I'm a super busy person today. I don't have to work out, so that means that today I'm going to rest my body. I'm going to rest my body physically, but I'm also going to give it a rest digestively by just fasting throughout the day, drinking lots of mineralized water, and letting my body benefit from what not having food experiences today are going to mean for me. So you have to define what 1 meal a day means for you. And then does that make you feel confident, comfortable, and empowered throughout your day? Or are you feeling anxiety and a little bit of panic about food not being available because of the choices that you're making? Or do you feel like you're doing it out of a sense of desperation? If you're entering 1 meal a day with that type of mindset, I promise you it won't be as good or beneficial as an experience. But if you can get to that place where you understand the benefits of it, and you know that food is just a choice away. If you want to have a meal, you can always choose to have that. And you're doing it for very specific reasons. This can be very fun. It can be very beneficial, and it can leave you feeling very empowered about how it is you are taking care of your body. So we want to make sure that 1 meal a day, remember, is that opportunity for us to balance out the number one hunger hormone that's causing us so many problems, and that's insulin. So you're going to drain those tanks by just creating one response throughout your day, which is 1 meal, so no snacking. And then we want to make sure that if we are going to practice 1 meal a day, not only is the meal that we're choosing to have important for us, but how we are going to fast up to that meal is also going to be super important for us to get the results that we're hoping for. So you want to make sure your fast is long and clean, right? So if you're going to benefit from 1 meal a day, this clean part is important for us to understand. You can't have little snacks. You can't put stuff in your coffee. You can't have a snack and then what you call a proper meal. It's literally 1 meal a day. You can reap some pretty amazing benefits from this. So take the fear out and think, what do I need to have in that 1 meal to support the lifestyle that I have going for me? And do you have a series of days where maybe you don't have a lot of energy demands from your body that you can actually cut things down to just 1 meal a day and benefit from what that has to offer you? And the mindset approach that you go into 1 meal a day will in fact determine the outcome and the benefits that you get from it. Anything that we go into that is well thought out and is designed for us as the individual woman and not the masses, you are going to get the best results mentally, physically, and emotionally for sure. 1 meal a day should never be approached as a desperate way to lose weight quickly. It will mess with your mind, because if you eliminate food for a period of time, of course, you're going to see a weight loss. on a scale because you just don't have as much that you're taking in. And as soon as you go back to living your normal life, you will see a weight gain again. And that is what we call the diet mentality. So you don't want to enter that in a desperate place with one meal a day. Think it through, understand the chemistry of it, understand what's going on hormonally in your body. And I promise you, this is a really cool way to live. It's super fun to not have to worry about food for a day. If you've done the mindset shift work and food is not a thing that you feel scarcity or a panic type of feeling if you don't have it available because you're making that choice. So hopefully this helps you. Remember, we do everything here from the mindset approach, right? We know the science. We know what happens with our insulin when we don't create a response, right? We know what happens when we fast long and clean. How are you feeling about that? How are you feeling about this decision? How are you feeling about that hunger you're feeling in your body? And do you understand why it's there? That will help you benefit from one meal a day as well. Eloise, good morning. August 2021 graduate. Yes, girlfriend. Patsy, many days are one meal a day for me. I also mix in longer fasts. Yeah, for sure. That's the beauty of understand the chemistry and hormonal aspect of living in an intermittent fasting lifestyle. Remember, intermittent fasting is what we do within a 24-hour period. You have the freedom and flexibility to switch that up whenever you feel life demands that, right? I don't believe that everyone should do exactly the same thing every single day, with the exception of if you're trying to implement a specific environmental change in your body. So in my intermittent fasting for today's aging woman course, I teach you to go to the 20-hour fast while you're in class. So you have the confidence, the knowledge, and the experience to draw from a 20-hour fast once you leave class, right? But I always recommend testing this out. Try a 22-hour fast. Yesterday, I fasted for 16 hours. Today, I'm doing one meal a day. I really ebb and flow my way through it because mindset wise, I understand that it's my opportunity to make that choice. And I know what I'm going to benefit from chemically and hormonally. So we want to make sure we're doing that work as well. And then Ginny, is your mineral water carbonated? I'm not a fan. I usually get electrolytes from a powdered mix. Not sure if I should be careful with my electrolyte choices. Yeah, Ginny, I don't know. That's another one of those things that I always say you have to experiment with your body. This is carbonated. I have one carbonated Mountain Valley water in the morning for a very specific reason. The bubbles fill up my stomach, right? And they trick my hunger hormones into believing that I just filled up that space. So it helps my ghrelin hormone calm itself down. So there's a very specific reason of why I drink that water and when I drink that water. And then for the rest of the day, I'll just drink mostly just flat water. I'll have a LaCroix later when I break my fast or something like that. So there's a specific reason I drink bubble water. You don't have to drink bubbly water to be successful. It's just a tool that I use to kind of offset a hunger hormone. And then with electrolytes, again, it's one of those things that you have to determine ease of use, right? So we have a water delivery service. This comes once a month. They're stacked in our refrigerator out in our garage. So it's really convenient for us. It's something we've built into our budget. So it's just easy. If you don't have the means to have a water delivery service, or you don't want to, have bottles of water stacked in your house, then choosing an electrolyte mix is perfectly fine. You just want to make sure that you are reading the ingredients label and making sure it's a pure mineralized electrolyte mix. So no flavors, no artificial sweeteners, no artificial flavoring, those kind of things. So you keep it super clean. So hopefully that helps you there, Jenny. And then Shannon from your July class, love learning all this good info. Awesome, Shannon. Thanks for tuning in today. I hope you're doing well in the July class. One meal a day. Again, it's how we approach it. It's the information we have available. How are we feeling about it mentally? Mental feelings and thoughts that we have, right, create other reactions in our body as well. If you're feeling frantically, right, because you have frantic thoughts, if you're feeling a sense of scarcity because you're scared of going to one meal a day, if you're feeling anxiety about the absence of food in your life, then you have to go back and ask yourself, why are you doing this, right? Why are you doing this if it's creating all of these negative emotions that then lead to negative responses in your body? Because our thoughts are going to lead to feelings, and those feelings create hormonal and chemical changes as well. So be confident in this, understand why, know the science behind it, and then find a way that it could benefit you. Otherwise, you're just going to be causing yourself a bunch of stress, and that is not anything we want to add into our life for sure. Valerie, good morning, girlfriend. She is one of my graduates of the Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman course and our Midlife Mindset Shift alumni member, and she is doing amazing things for her life, practicing a very balanced intermittent fasting lifestyle for herself. So it all goes back to how you're thinking about things. Don't just jump into something without thinking it through. Don't jump into something because you see someone on the internet who got amazing results with something and you're not doing the thought work and figuring out if that's going to be suitable for your life and what it is that you say that you really want for yourself. I am a person who happens to absolutely love food, right? So one meal a day for me in the long term is not a good thing because I enjoy food. I enjoy the social aspects of food. I enjoy the family connection with food. I love food in my life. So I use one meal a day very strategically so that I can benefit from all of the things that it offers me without making me feel like I'm depriving myself of something that brings me joy. So food has a very specific place in my life. Just because I'm fasting, right, doesn't mean that I remove the thing that I absolutely find joy from, which is food. I just use fasting in a way that will help me benefit from the other things that I say that I want to have in my life as well, because food always being present doesn't work well for me either. So you have to find that balance between fasting long enough, feasting well enough, and training smart enough, right? So you have a happy balance with all three things, but can also achieve what it is that you say that you really want in your life. It's a lot of mindset shift work. If you can get the mind right, if we can get our mind right about it, then our emotions follow what we think, and then you can have a really pleasant outcome without feeling any negative emotion around it. So hope this helps with one meal a day. One meal a day is in fact just eating one time, no snacks, no other insulin responses that you're creating in your body. The protocol that you have is going to be determined by how you think that's going to play out for you for sure. And then to make sure that you're getting enough calories and enough nutrients, you have to understand what the benefits of fasting are more than being concerned about this one meal a day, right? So if you know what fasting can do for you, if you're doing it long and clean, then you don't have to necessarily worry about caloric intake or even nutrient intake because it'll all balance itself out. Hope this helps you decide if one meal a day is good for you or not. And then remember too, just because you do one meal a day doesn't mean you have to do it every single day. You can ebb and flow your way through protocols also. Thanks for tuning in with us today, you guys. I will see you back here on Monday. This will be uploaded so you can come back and watch it if you need. If you're interested in joining our Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman course, information is included down below. I'll see you guys around the internet this weekend, and then I'll see you back here on Monday. Have a great day.